Hello friends, welcome to another exciting lesson on JavaScript. So we have been looking about on quite a lot lately. And hope it's getting fun. So you are practicing at home and making sure you're getting things right, doing more research because that's the key thing. We can't actually show you everything, but we are just guiding you through the path because there's quite a lot in JavaScript. You can't master everything in one video. It's going to be very bulky. So anyway, enough of that. We are going to discuss about JavaScript events today. And JavaScript events are just basically things or events that occur uh, when a user manipulates an HTML element. You know HTML elements, right? Like heading, buttons, paragraph, whatsoever, all those things, forms. So those are HTML elements. So when we manipulate with them, events, things happen. So those things that happen, they are called events. And we are going to be discussing some few events, just two for this lesson. Like we're going to be discussing on the onClick. OnClick functions in such a way that when you click on a button or on anything, maybe on the text, you can set the button here. You click on the event, you click on this or anywhere, an action is going to occur. So that's the on click event. You also have the on mouse hover. So when you hover, let me show you an example here. Like as I'm hovering on this icon here, you see on this WhatsApp icon here, you see what's happening to the background, right? It's a square box that just fills in the background whenever I hover. So that's another event called hover. Then you also have mouse out. The mouse out, it performs an action when the mouse is moved away from an HTML element. You also have others like unload, on key down, on change. In short, there are many of them. So you just have to do your research and try to get a grasp of them. But I would advise you to only study them when you want to use it, because you can't study the whole language and master it. You study progressively. You do what we call project wise studies. Like when you're working on something and you need this, you see, right, you study that and then just apply it. So that's actually the best. It makes you master it better rather than studying everything, trying to master them before you start implementing. It's going to be quite difficult. So we are going to look at let's begin by looking at the on click. As you can see, we have modified our HTML code just to and edited this heading, our page title, and this paragraph. So let's add a button. What should be written on the button? Let's make it in such a way that when you click on the button, it displays the current date and time. So currently we're recording this video at on Sunday, August 1st, 2021, and the time right now is 7:41 a.m. So we are going to, I guess by the time I'm done with this demo, it should be a couple of minutes ahead of 7:41 a.m. Uh, so we are going to, let's write what should be written on the button. We can make it in such a way that it is going to print the date and time, or display the date and time on a new line. So let's add a new paragraph and give it an ID. Let's say display time. So that's the ID of this paragraph tag. You see, there's nothing there. We are not going to put anything there because that is where we are going to write our date and time in this paragraph below this button. So it is below this button that will display our date and time when we click on it. There's also another method where you can actually change what is written on the button to the date and time. We are going to see that after this first method. So let's say click here to display date and time. So let's now add our event. Our event is added to the button. Let's add our event to the button. So this is on click, and for us to select this paragraph and display our date and time after clicking on this button, we make use of DOM selectors, document object models selectors. So that is going to be covered in another lesson. So for now, we just have a look at it, like how it's being done, so that by the time we are getting to the document object model, you are going to better understand this. So do a document dot get element by id. Which element are we getting by id? I'm getting this display time. So it's display time. We are getting this display time. We're getting the id of this display time. Get element by id. Oh, what is going on with this? Display time, yes. Documents get elements by id. Display time, okay. I guess it should be in single quotes, not double quotes. Let's try display time. Yes. I think it's rejecting because we are using double quotes inside some other double quotes. Yeah, so we now use single quotes. Display time. Since all of this line of code is written within double quotes, so we use single quotes here. So get elements by id display time. Then we do a dot, since we want to change its content, want to change its HTML content, we do dot inner HTML equal to date. You should not be frightened about this, right? This date is an inbuilt function, so when you just call it, it displays the current date and time. So what this does is that we have added the event on click. So when you click on this button, it gets the element with this id. This paragraph has the id display time, so it gets this element, and from there it then changes its HTML content to the current date, and that is made possible with the use of this date function that's inbuilt in JavaScript. So JavaScript now does the dates and then print it out here. I hope yeah, that should be clear. So it accesses this element. You see it is empty, there's nothing in this paragraph, so it accesses it and then prints the date just below this button. So let's save that and see how it's going to work. Okay, it says click here to display date and time. So let's click. Bam, you see this is it. Sunday 1st August 2021, 7:47 GMT +1 West African time. So this is it. It has displayed the current date and time. You see how fun it is, right? So let me take the code one more time. Let me take the explanation. The button, we have added the element on click to this button, and we have created a paragraph because we need to print the date somewhere, right? We cannot just say it should display date without telling it where it should write the date. So we created a new paragraph here so that I can write the date on that paragraph, but we haven't written anything on the paragraph so that I can use the paragraph on its own. Then we have given it an id so we can access it. So from this element, from this event, the event will access that element using the DOM selector document.getElement by ID display time has gotten this element, and then it will change its HTML content to the current date and time. So that's the meaning of this, what you are seeing here. So let's refresh and give it a try again. You see Sunday days. So that works, right? Now we are going to look at the second method where we are going to change what this display date and time isn't going to be here. We want to make the button, the date and time display on the button. I don't know if you get the point. That means the date and time will be displayed on the button. That means this click here to display the date and time will automatically change and then display the date on this very button. So what we are going to do is we are not selecting any elements on the HTML document, right? So we clear this. But what do? We do a this dot inner HTML equal to date. Let's save. Oh, are you ready? So let's refresh the page. Click, bam, you see there, Sunday this. So it has automatically changed the content of that button to the current date and time. So that's the use of this dot inner HTML. It changed the content of that HTML element on which you are. Like we are on the button element, right? So it will change the content of that element, of that HTML element, to whatsoever you want to. So this is it. This is just it. Like, let's refresh again to make sure it's working. You see, you just click here to display it, and time you click, it is displaying on the button. You see, right? That's very fun. Now let's move to our next. So this has been the on click event. Let's now look at the on mouse hover. So let's clear this, and maybe we should say hover to see message. Over to see message. So we change. Let us clear this off so I can type it from afresh. So on mouse hover, like you see, right, when you type on mouse, you see other events, right? These are other events that you could make use of. On mouse hover, on mouse hover. What should you do on mouse hover? It should alert. Let's say it should alert the message, right? It should alert. It should alert the message. I think we should single quote here. It should alert the message. Hello there. You just hovered over a button. Okay, I think that looks good. Let's save. So on mouse hover, let's see if we hover over the button, it's going to display this. Let's refresh the page. Hover to see message. Oh, something is not correct. So what could possibly be the problem? We are hovering, but nothing is going on. Let's get back to our code and try to see what to do about that. See, on mouse hover, it's supposed to do something, right? So why isn't it doing? Can you figure it out? On mouse hover, let's try to do it this way. Like let's create a function. Let's create a function, and then we call it here whenever we hover over the elements. Okay, I think we should create a function to be display message. So let's add our JavaScript add a script okay. So let's define our function here. Function on mouse, no, sorry, oh my goodness, it's function what, this is our function we want to create, right? Display message, this is it. What is our function display message? It should alert the message hello there, you just hovered over a button. Hello there, you just hovered over a button. You see, so this is JavaScript. This is a JavaScript that has been created. Internal JavaScript. You see, it has been added to the HTML page itself. It is added here. So, so that's it. Let's save and refresh. Still not working. Okay. Over to see message. Still not working. Let's try it this way. How about we, in the script tag, we display a message instead. Let's say in the script, let's move the script tag to the beginning of this page, the body, sorry, and then see how it goes. Let's say var message equal to hi there, you just hovered over a button. You just hovered over a button. So that's a variable. This is a string we have just created. So let's save that, and then it should alert that here, alert the message when you hover over this button. Let's save that, and then let's pray this works this time. Okay, seems like there's something wrong somewhere. There's something wrong somewhere. We're probably not getting one thing right, so we need to do something about that or something. Let's try. I think we should open this HTML file using another browser to see how it goes. Oops. Let's open HTML file using another browser. Let's open and we see. Let's use Microsoft Edge. See what the problem could possibly be. It's still not working. Wow. There must be something wrong somewhere. Let us look at the code again. Button on mouse over. On mouse over. say hover to this to see message. Let's see. Okay, let's look at it again. Look at the code very well. Okay, because we have declared a variable here in our script tab. Variable. Why doesn't it change color? Let's see. If alert isn't going through, I think we should I think we should okay, I think we are making an error. Is it on mouse hover or on mouse over? Let's see something. Let's save this. Refresh. Voila. My goodness. You see how stressful it is, right? You can actually get angry when you do a little error in your code and you're unable to easily identify the error. So that was our error. It's supposed to be on mouse over, not on mouse hover. It's because probably since you are hovering before it does the action, then you're like, okay, on mouse hover. You forgot that it's on mouse over. So it's on mouse over, please. It's not on mouse hover. So when you hover over the mouse, it displays the message. Let's try modifying this message, and let's say you are, let's say, welcome to TriCoder. Welcome to TriCoder. Welcome to TriCoder. You save. Let's refresh the page. Well, refreshed it, right? So let's move our mouse cursor over the button. Let's go gradually. Boom, this is it. Welcome to TriCoder. So you see, guys, our error was just the on mouse hover that we wrote, and it wasn't working. So when you're writing your code, please be careful. Like, really take your time and write things down. Like little errors like that can cost you a lot. Like, see how much time it took us to actually debug it. We were like trying other things. I tried alerting the message from here, it wasn't going. Created a function, it still wasn't going. We even created a variable, nothing was happening before. Later on discovered that it was just on mouse. It was just the H that was here that was stopping everything from working perfectly. So that's been it, guys, and thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next lesson.